Imagine a world where time itself seems alive, a planet shrouded in mystery, its skies rewriting their own rules every single day. A team of brilliant minds ventures into the unknown, chasing answers that could unlock the secrets of the universe. But as they dig deeper, they uncover something far more dangerous than they ever imagined. What lies beneath the ever-changing veil of this enigmatic world? And will they survive long enough to find out? Stay tuned for Planet of Eternal Twilight, the 24-hour mystery dash. Don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling journeys through the cosmos. The journey began with a spark of curiosity, a question whispered among astronomers and physicists alike. Somewhere in the outer reaches of the galaxy, there existed a planet unlike any other, a celestial oddity known only as Arinder 7. Its surface was barren, its terrain jagged and unforgiving, but it was the atmosphere that captured humanity's imagination. Every 24 hours, without fail, the very composition of the air changed. Oxygen levels would plummet, then surge, nitrogen clouds would give way to sulfuric storms, and at times, the entire sky would shimmer with iridescent gases never before seen in nature. It defied all known laws of planetary science, and yet, here it was, taunting mankind with its riddles. A multinational coalition of researchers assembled aboard the starship, Odyssey Dash, their destination set firmly on Arinder 7. Among them were climatologists, biologists, geophysicists, and even philosophers tasked with interpreting the implications of such a phenomenon. Each member carried not just equipment, but also hopes of unraveling one of the greatest mysteries of modern science. As the ship descended toward the alien world, the crew gazed out at the kaleidoscopic swirls overhead. They felt small and significant, yet strangely exhilarated by the challenge ahead. Upon landing, the first thing they noticed was the silence. There were no winds sweeping across the desolate plains, no rustling leaves or distant animal calls. Only the hum of their suits' life support systems broke the stillness. The ground beneath their boots was cracked and dry, littered with shards of obsidian-like rock. Towering above them were jagged cliffs, their surfaces streaked with veins of glittering minerals that caught the light of the shifting sky. The colors danced unpredictably, casting an ethereal glow over everything. It was beautiful, yes, but also unsettling, a reminder of how little they understood about this place. The team's initial scans revealed anomalies everywhere. Instruments malfunctioned sporadically, readings fluctuated wildly, and attempts to establish stable communication back to Earth often failed. Yet, amidst the chaos, patterns began to emerge. The changes weren't random, they followed cycles, rhythms dictated by forces none of the scientists could yet comprehend. Some theorized it might be linked to gravitational interactions with nearby moons, while others speculated about subterranean processes releasing volatile compounds into the air. Whatever the cause, it was clear that Arinder 7 held secrets buried deep within its core. As night fell, or what passed for night, the team retreated to their temporary base camp. Inside the reinforced modules, they reviewed the day's findings, piecing together fragments of information like detectives solving a cosmic puzzle. Despite the challenges, morale remained high. For these scientists, every unanswered question was an invitation to explore further, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. Little did they know, the true test lay just beyond the horizon, waiting patiently for them to take the next step. Day 2 dawned with a fiery crimson sky, the thick haze making visibility nearly impossible. The team donned specialized goggles designed to filter out harmful wavelengths, stepping cautiously onto the alien soil once more. Their objective today was to deploy a series of drones equipped with advanced sensors capable of mapping the atmospheric layers. These machines, crafted specifically for harsh environments, represented the pinnacle of human engineering. If anything could withstand the unpredictable conditions of Arinder 7, it was these drones. Launching the devices proved easier said than done. The magnetic interference wreaked havoc on their control systems, causing erratic movements and frequent crashes. Still, persistence paid off. By mid-morning, several drones managed to ascend high enough to gather valuable data. Streams of numbers poured into the central console at base camp, painting a picture both fascinating and confounding. The atmospheric shifts weren't merely chemical. They involved quantum fluctuations, energy exchanges occurring on scales previously thought impossible outside laboratory settings. This discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community when transmitted back to Earth. Meanwhile, the geologists focused on analyzing the mineral deposits scattered across the landscape. Initial tests suggested the presence of exotic elements, some entirely new to the periodic table. Could these materials somehow influence the atmospheric behavior? Or were they mere byproducts of whatever force drove the changes? Samples were carefully collected and transported back to the lab module for further examination. Back inside, microscopes buzzed and spectrometers whirred, each analysis bringing the team closer to understanding, but also raising new questions. By late afternoon, the sky had transitioned to a pale lavender hue, casting soft shadows across the barren expanse. The temperature dropped sharply, forcing the team to adjust their thermal settings. Frost formed on exposed surfaces, crystalline structures glinting under the dim light. Despite the cold, the sense of wonder lingered. Every moment spent on Arinder 7 felt like peeling back a layer of reality itself, revealing truths that defied conventional wisdom. Yet, beneath the excitement lurked an undercurrent of unease. The planet seemed almost sentient, reacting to their presence in ways they couldn't fully grasp. That evening, gathered around glowing screens filled with charts and graphs, the team debated fiercely. Some argued that natural processes governed the atmospheric shifts, albeit ones operating on principles yet undiscovered. Others leaned toward the possibility of artificial intervention, perhaps remnants of an ancient civilization manipulating the environment long after their demise. While speculative, the idea sparked heated discussions. Was Arinder 7 truly untouched, or did it harbor traces of intelligent design hidden beneath its cryptic facade? The third day on Arinder 7 began with a sky that seemed to pulse like a living organism. Swirling violets and deep indigos gave way to streaks of electric blue, as if the atmosphere itself were breathing. The team had grown accustomed to the constant shifts, but this particular morning carried an unsettling energy. Instruments that had functioned reliably just hours before now emitted erratic signals, their readings fluctuating wildly. It was as though the planet was testing them, pushing back against their intrusion. One of the biologists suggested that the atmospheric changes might be tied to some form of microbial life, organisms so alien that they defied conventional detection. To test this theory, the team deployed a series of biosensors designed to detect even the faintest signs of biological activity. These devices were equipped with nanotechnology capable of analyzing molecular structures in real time. As the sensors scanned the air and soil, the team monitored the results closely, their anticipation mounting with each passing minute. The data returned inconclusive at first, showing only traces of inert compounds. But then, something extraordinary happened. One of the sensors detected faint electromagnetic pulses emanating from the ground. These pulses correlated with the atmospheric shifts, suggesting a possible link between the planet's surface and its ever-changing skies. The discovery sent a ripple of excitement through the group. Could it be that the planet's breathing was not a natural phenomenon, but rather the result of some form of planetary-scale communication? As the day wore on, the team ventured further into the alien landscape, following the source of the pulses. The terrain grew increasingly treacherous, with jagged ravines and unstable rock formations making progress slow and perilous. Yet, the promise of answers drove them forward. By late afternoon, they reached a vast crater filled with luminescent pools of liquid. The substance within shimmered with an otherworldly glow, its colors shifting in sync with the sky above. Samples were carefully extracted and transported back to the lab for analysis. Back at base camp, the lab module buzzed with activity as the team worked tirelessly to decipher the properties of the mysterious liquid. Initial tests revealed it to be a complex mixture of organic and inorganic compounds, unlike anything found on Earth. More intriguingly, the substance exhibited self-organizing behavior, rearranging its molecular structure in response to external stimuli. It was as though the liquid possessed a rudimentary form of intelligence, a primitive consciousness encoded within its chemistry. The implications were staggering. If the liquid was indeed alive in some capacity, it could represent a completely new form of life, one that blurred the line between biology and physics. The team debated the possibilities late into the night, their minds racing with theories. Could this substance be the key to understanding the atmospheric changes? Or was it merely a byproduct of whatever force governed the planet's behavior? The questions multiplied faster than they could be answered. Meanwhile, outside the lab, the planet continued its relentless cycle of transformation. The sky darkened prematurely, plunging the landscape into an eerie twilight. Shadows stretched unnaturally long, distorting the shapes of rocks and cliffs. The temperature plummeted, forcing the team to retreat indoors earlier than planned. Despite the discomfort, the scientists couldn't help but marvel at the spectacle unfolding around them. Irinder 7 was a world of contradictions, beautiful yet dangerous, inviting yet hostile. That night, as the team reviewed the day's findings, a new pattern emerged. The electromagnetic pulses detected earlier seemed to align with specific phases of the atmospheric changes. This synchronization suggested a deliberate mechanism at work, as if the planet were orchestrating its own symphony of elements. The realization left the team both awestruck and uneasy. They were no longer merely observers. They were participants in a cosmic performance they barely understood. The fourth day dawned with the sky awash in golden hues, casting a warm glow over the desolate landscape. For the first time since their arrival, the atmosphere remained stable for several hours, offering a rare window of opportunity for exploration. The team seized the chance to venture deeper into the crater, where the luminescent pools lay undisturbed. Their goal was to map the area in greater detail, searching for any anomalies that might shed light on the planet's enigmatic behavior. As they descended into the crater, the air grew thick with an almost palpable energy. The liquid pools emitted soft hums, resonating at frequencies that vibrated through their suits. The sensation was disorienting yet strangely soothing, as if the planet were welcoming them or warning them. The geologists noted peculiar formations along the crater walls, spiraling patterns etched into the rock. These markings bore an uncanny resemblance to fractal designs, suggesting a level of mathematical precision that defied natural explanation. At the center of the crater, the team discovered a massive crystalline structure jutting out of the ground. Its surface refracted light in dazzling arrays, creating a kaleidoscope of colors that danced across the surrounding area. Closer inspection revealed intricate carvings embedded within the crystal, resembling symbols or glyphs. While indecipherable, these markings hinted at the possibility of intelligent design. Was this evidence of an ancient civilization, or something far older and more advanced? The discovery sent shockwaves through the group. If the crystal was artificial, it raised profound questions about the origins of Irinder 7. Could the planet have been engineered, its atmosphere meticulously crafted to serve a purpose beyond human comprehension? The thought was both exhilarating and terrifying. As the team documented their findings, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that the planet itself was aware of their presence. By the fifth day, the team's focus shifted to unraveling the mystery of the crystalline structure. They hypothesized that it might serve as a conduit, channeling energy from the planet's core to influence the atmospheric changes. To test this theory, they deployed seismic sensors around the crater, hoping to detect any subterranean activity linked to the crystal. The data they collected painted a picture of immense complexity, revealing networks of underground chambers and conduits radiating outward from the structure. As the day progressed, the atmospheric stability began to wane. Clouds of sulfuric gas rolled in, obscuring the sun and casting the landscape into shadow. The temperature soared, making movement increasingly difficult. Despite the harsh conditions, the team pressed on, driven by the urgency of their mission. Time was running out. Their supplies were finite, and the planet showed no signs of revealing its secrets willingly. Inside the lab module, the chemists made a breakthrough. Further analysis of the luminescent liquid revealed traces of quantum particles embedded within its molecular structure. These particles appeared to interact with the electromagnetic pulses detected earlier, creating a feedback loop that amplified the atmospheric shifts. The discovery suggested that Irinder 7 was not just a passive participant in its own evolution. It was actively shaping its environment through mechanisms rooted in quantum mechanics. The realization forced the team to reconsider everything they thought they knew about planetary systems. Here was a world that operated on principles far beyond the scope of human science, challenging the very foundations of their understanding. Yet, amidst the confusion, a glimmer of clarity emerged. The planet's behavior was not random. It followed a logic dictated by forces humanity had yet to comprehend. The challenge now was to decode that logic before their time ran out. The seventh day marked a turning point in the team's mission. The atmospheric shifts had grown increasingly erratic, as if the planet were resisting their attempts to understand it. The golden hues of the previous morning had given way to an ominous shade of crimson, casting the landscape in a blood-red glow. Shadows stretched unnaturally long, distorting the jagged cliffs and barren plains into grotesque shapes. It was difficult not to feel a sense of foreboding as the team prepared for another round of exploration. Their focus shifted to the underground chambers detected by the seismic sensors. Equipped with portable drilling rigs and reinforced suits, the team descended into the crater once more. The crystalline structure loomed above them, its refracted light creating an eerie kaleidoscope effect that illuminated their path. As they reached the entrance to one of the chambers, they discovered a network of tunnels carved into the rock, their walls lined with veins of glowing minerals. The air inside was thick with static electricity, causing their instruments to emit faint crackles. Venturing deeper, the team encountered a series of caverns filled with pools of the luminescent liquid. These pools pulsed in sync with the electromagnetic pulses detected earlier, suggesting a direct connection between the liquid and the atmospheric changes. Samples were collected with great care, each vial sealed tightly to prevent contamination. The biologists noted that the liquid seemed to respond to their presence, its colors shifting subtly whenever they moved too close. It was as though the substance were alive, aware of their every action. Back at base camp, the lab module buzzed with activity as the team analyzed the new samples. The liquid's quantum properties were even more pronounced than before, its molecular structure exhibiting behaviors that defied conventional physics. One of the physicists proposed that the liquid might act as a medium for storing and transmitting energy, functioning like a planetary-scale battery. If true, this could explain how Arinder 7 maintained its cyclical atmospheric transformations. But the implications went far beyond mere mechanics. This was evidence of a system so advanced that it bordered on the metaphysical. On the 8th day, the team decided to conduct a controlled experiment. Using one of the drones, they released a small amount of the luminescent liquid into the atmosphere, carefully monitoring its effects. Almost immediately, the sky began to shift, transitioning from deep crimson to a swirling mix of violet and green. The atmospheric composition changed rapidly, with oxygen levels spiking and nitrogen concentrations dropping. It was clear that the liquid played a pivotal role in regulating the planet's environment. But the experiment came at a cost. Moments after the release, the ground beneath the team trembled violently. A low-frequency hum resonated through the crater, growing louder with each passing second. The crystalline structure at the center emitted a blinding flash of light, forcing the team to shield their eyes. When the light faded, the structure had transformed, its surface now covered in intricate patterns that glowed faintly, resembling circuitry or neural pathways. The team retreated to base camp, shaken but determined to make sense of what they had witnessed. Inside the lab module, they reviewed the data, piecing together fragments of information like detectives solving a cosmic puzzle. The liquid, the crystal, and the atmospheric shifts were all interconnected, forming a self-sustaining loop that kept the planet in a state of perpetual flux. But why? What purpose did this system serve? And who or what had designed it? As night fell, or what passed for night, the team gathered around the central console, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of their screens. Each member contributed their observations, theories, and insights, weaving together a narrative that was equal parts science and speculation. For the first time, they allowed themselves to entertain the possibility that Arinder 7 might not be a natural phenomenon at all. Perhaps it was a construct, a living machine created by an intelligence far beyond human comprehension. The 9th day brought a revelation that would change everything. While analyzing the glowing patterns on the crystalline structure, one of the researchers noticed something extraordinary. The symbols embedded within the crystal matched the markings found along the crater walls. This suggested that the entire site was part of a larger system, a network of nodes working in harmony to maintain the planet's equilibrium. The team hypothesized that the crystal served as a central hub, coordinating the activities of countless other structures scattered across Arinder 7. To test this theory, they deployed additional drones to map the surrounding area. The results confirmed their suspicions. Buried beneath the surface were hundreds, perhaps thousands, of similar crystalline formations, each connected to the central structure via subterranean conduits. Together, these formations formed a vast lattice, spanning the entire planet. The scale of the system was staggering, dwarfing anything humanity had ever encountered. The discovery raised profound questions about the nature of Arinder 7. If the planet was indeed a construct, who or what had built it? Was it the work of an ancient civilization, or something far older and more advanced? The team debated fiercely, their minds racing with possibilities. Some argued that the builders might still exist, hidden somewhere beneath the surface or in the depths of space. Others believed the planet was autonomous, a self-sustaining entity capable of evolving and adapting without external intervention. As the day drew to a close, the team felt a renewed sense of urgency. Their time on Arinder, 7 was limited, and there was still so much to learn. Every moment spent here was a step closer to unraveling the planet's secrets and perhaps uncovering the truth about its creators. By the 10th day, the team's efforts intensified. They focused on deciphering the symbols etched into the crystalline structure, hoping to unlock some form of communication or instruction manual left behind by the planet's architects. Using advanced imaging software, they reconstructed the patterns in 3 dimensions, revealing a complex matrix of interlocking designs. The symbols appeared to follow a mathematical logic, their arrangement suggesting a language based on geometry rather than phonetics. One of the linguists on the team proposed that the symbols might represent equations or algorithms, encoding instructions for maintaining the planet's atmospheric balance. If true, decoding them could provide insight into the mechanisms governing Arinder 7's behavior. The team worked tirelessly, cross-referencing the patterns with known mathematical principles and running simulations to test their hypotheses. Progress was slow but steady, each breakthrough bringing them closer to understanding. Meanwhile, outside the lab, the planet continued its relentless cycle of transformation. The sky shifted unpredictably, alternating between serene pastels and violent storms. The temperature fluctuated wildly, forcing the team to adapt their equipment and strategies on the fly. Despite the challenges, they remained undeterred, driven by the knowledge that they were on the verge of something monumental. That evening, as the team reviewed the day's findings, a breakthrough occurred. One of the simulations revealed a repeating sequence within the symbols, a pattern that corresponded to the electromagnetic pulses detected earlier. This discovery suggested that the symbols were not just decorative but functional, serving as a code that regulated the planet's energy flow. The realization sent a ripple of excitement through the group. They were no longer merely observers. They were unlocking the very blueprint of Arinder 7. The 11th day marked a shift in the team's approach. With their departure looming, they realized that time was no longer on their side. The urgency to decode the crystalline structure's symbols became palpable, driving them to work with a newfound intensity. The linguists and mathematicians collaborated closely, feeding data into advanced algorithms designed to identify patterns within the geometric language. Each revelation brought them closer to understanding the planet's intricate mechanisms. As the hours passed, the atmospheric shifts grew more pronounced. The sky transitioned from serene blues to chaotic swirls of crimson and gold, as if Arinder 7 were reacting to their efforts. The team couldn't help but feel that the planet was aware of their presence, that it was responding to their attempts to unravel its secrets. Whether this awareness was intentional or merely a byproduct of its self-regulating systems remained unclear, but the sensation was undeniable. Late in the afternoon, a breakthrough occurred. One of the simulations revealed a sequence of symbols that matched the electromagnetic pulses emitted during specific atmospheric changes. These symbols appeared to act as triggers, initiating cascading reactions that altered the planet's environment. The discovery was monumental. It suggested that the crystalline structure wasn't just a passive component of the system, but an active controller, capable of manipulating the atmosphere at will. With this knowledge, the team devised a bold plan. They would attempt to interface directly with the crystalline structure, using their equipment to send a controlled signal mimicking the decoded symbols. If successful, they might be able to induce a minor atmospheric shift, proving their theory and gaining deeper insight into the planet's mechanics. It was a risky endeavor, but one they deemed necessary before leaving Arinder 7 behind. On the 12th day, the team prepared for their most ambitious experiment yet. Using portable generators and modified communication devices, they constructed a makeshift interface capable of transmitting signals to the crystalline structure. The process required precision and coordination, as even the slightest miscalculation could result in unintended consequences. Despite the risks, the scientists were determined to see it through. As the interface was activated, the air around them crackled with energy. The crystalline structure responded almost immediately, its glowing patterns intensifying and shifting in response to the transmitted signal. Moments later, the sky above began to transform. Clouds of sulfuric gas dissipated, replaced by wisps of iridescent vapor that shimmered like liquid light. The temperature stabilized, creating a brief window of calm amidst the chaos. The success of the experiment confirmed their suspicions. The crystalline structure was indeed the key to controlling Arinder 7's atmospheric changes. But the implications extended far beyond mere environmental regulation. This was evidence of a system so sophisticated that it blurred the line between natural and artificial intelligence. The team couldn't help but wonder, were they interacting with the remnants of an ancient civilization, or had they stumbled upon something far older and more enigmatic? Back at base camp, the researchers analyzed the data collected during the experiment. Every detail pointed to a level of complexity that defied conventional understanding. The planet's mechanisms operated on principles rooted in quantum mechanics, energy dynamics, and possibly even consciousness itself. It was as though Arinder 7 existed not as a passive world, but as a living entity, its cycles dictated by forces humanity had yet to comprehend. By the 13th day, the team faced a sobering reality. Their time on Arinder 7 was nearly over. With each passing hour, the weight of unanswered questions grew heavier. Though they had made significant progress, the planet's mysteries remained vast and impenetrable. The crystalline structure, the luminescent liquid, and the atmospheric shifts all pointed to a grand design, but the purpose behind it eluded them. In a final effort to gather as much information as possible, the team conducted a series of high-altitude scans using drones equipped with spectral analyzers. These scans revealed additional anomalies scattered across the planet's surface, areas where energy concentrations were unusually high. Closer inspection showed that these sites mirrored the central crater in both composition and structure, suggesting that Arinder 7 was covered in a network of interconnected nodes. The realization deepened their sense of awe and unease. If the entire planet was a single, unified system, what role did these nodes play? Were they backups, safeguards, or something else entirely? The team speculated that the nodes might serve as fail-safes, ensuring the planet's survival in the event of catastrophic damage. Alternatively, they could represent different stages of the planet's evolution, each node contributing to its ongoing transformation. As night fell, or what passed for night, the team gathered one last time around the central console. Their faces were etched with exhaustion, yet their eyes sparkled with determination. They knew they couldn't solve every mystery before leaving, but they vowed to document everything meticulously, preserving their findings for future generations. Perhaps someday, humanity would return to Arinder 7 with the tools and knowledge needed to unlock its secrets fully. The 14th day dawned with a sky awash in soft lavender hues, casting a tranquil glow over the desolate landscape. For the first time since their arrival, the atmosphere remained stable for an extended period, as if the planet were granting them a moment of respite. The team seized the opportunity to conduct a final round of experiments, focusing on the luminescent liquid and its interaction with the crystalline structure. Their analysis revealed something unexpected. The liquid contained traces of encoded information, akin to a biological hard drive. This information appeared to align with the symbols etched into the crystal, suggesting that the two components worked in tandem to regulate the planet's environment. It was as though the liquid acted as a carrier wave, transmitting instructions from the crystalline structure to the atmosphere itself. This discovery added another layer of complexity to their understanding of Arinder 7. The planet wasn't just a machine, it was a symbiotic system, with each element playing a vital role in maintaining its balance. The team marveled at the elegance of the design, recognizing it as a masterpiece of engineering, or perhaps something even greater. Could this be evidence of a universal principle, a blueprint for life and existence itself? As the day drew to a close, the team packed up their equipment, preparing for their departure. The lab module was dismantled, samples sealed away, and instruments stowed carefully aboard the Odyssey Dash. Though their mission was ending, the sense of wonder lingered. Arinder 7 had challenged them, inspired them, and left them humbled by the infinite possibilities of the cosmos. On their final day, the team stood at the edge of the crater, gazing up at the ever-shifting sky. The crystalline structure loomed behind them, its glowing patterns pulsing in rhythm with the planet's heartbeat. Though they had uncovered fragments of the truth, the full picture remained elusive. Arinder 7 was a riddle wrapped in an enigma, its secrets buried beneath layers of complexity that defied easy interpretation. As the Odyssey prepared for departure, the scientists reflected on their journey. They had come seeking answers, but instead found themselves confronted with even greater mysteries. The planet had tested their resolve, pushed the limits of their knowledge, and left them humbled by the vastness of the unknown. Yet, they also felt a profound sense of gratitude for the opportunity to witness such wonders, to stand on the threshold of discovery, and to contribute, however small, to humanity's collective quest for understanding. The ship ascended slowly, leaving behind the swirling skies and glowing pools. From orbit, Erinder 7 appeared as a jewel suspended in the void, its beauty both mesmerizing and haunting. The team knew they would carry its memory with them forever, a reminder of how much there was still to learn. And though their mission had ended, the questions they had uncovered would continue to inspire future generations of explorers. If you enjoyed this tale of cosmic exploration, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that take you to the edges of imagination and beyond. Together, let's keep reaching for the stars.